We're in Sydney, Australia. We're chasing a shot before the light goes. It was 1998 that I last did this shot. I did a shoot in 4:3 on DV, stuck with me forever because it worked out so well. So we're trying to recreate the magic. Sydney, Australia, definitely one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And that was way back in 1998 that I was last here, and I was shooting with DV cameras, and I was learning all about how to make cinematography work at a really basic level. Never did I guess that some 15 years later, maybe a little bit more, I'd be back doing another shoot in exactly the same spot. Now we've got 1, 2, 3 cameras rolling there. We've got a BMW F3 with a monster lens on it. That's the 18-252, doing a continuous time lapse. Then we're shooting 4K over here on the Blackmagic production camera. And I've got a tremendous lens on that, which is a Canon 8-15mm. And then all the way over there, I've got another one under the bridge. Okay, that's a 17-35. So this is kind of experimental. But the point is, I got nice shots way back when I did this in 1998. And to come back and do it again is a real privilege. And it's not just me. I've got another friend with me, a guy by the name of Ben Tessler. Hopefully Ben will say a few words for you.
Yes, Rick, here we are in Sydney on the harbour side, and we're doing a time-lapse of the Opera House across the water to the Sydney city. And we've set up our camera in a way that we can capture the changing light, the changing colour balance, and the changing conditions, which is a challenge with a big lens, but a beautiful camera, and it's so far working very well. So we're recording on an auto trace white, so the colour temperature changes as the light decreases, and we're on auto aperture, so the iris is opening up as the light's dropping, and we're hoping to have a nice result at the end of maybe 45 minutes to an hour of recording. So as you can see, Rick, the trick to a good time lapse is obviously a very sturdy tripod. You want to make sure that no one or nothing bumps that tripod, otherwise that could ruin your whole shot. And when you set up for 45 minutes to an hour, you don't want a bump in the middle of that because it just ruins it.
Ben, I found it quite interesting when we decided to do this. Obviously we got several cameras running, but as you set that up, you decided to go with the auto trace white, and not only that, you decided to go with continuous recording as opposed to time lapse, meaning shooting a few frames, you know, one every 10 seconds, a frame a second, however you choose to do it. So why do you go with the continuous running as opposed to what would be considered a traditional way of recording a time lapse?
So we've chosen to do this time lapse as a continuous record rather than just a multiple frames per second, because we don't want to lose anything that we're seeing in the frame. We've got a lot of movement in this frame, as you can see. There's a lot of boats passing through, and with continuous record you don't get that staggering effect where, you know, if you're only getting 2, 3, 4, 5 frames a second, you lose the other 20 frames. So we're doing a continuous record and able to get that flowing shot and give us the option of a nice smooth time lapse. And what this also means is that in post production we've got the options to do whatever we want with this shot.
This is Miranda Perry. Miranda is a sensational photographer. Now Miranda, tell me exactly what it is that you're doing here, because I can see you're set up doing the still photography on this particular shoot, and it looks gorgeous what I can see you doing, so you tell me.
Okay, hello Rick. I am using a huge wide lens, 14-24. I'm doing incredibly long exposures, but 20-second long exposures, lots of fun. We haven't got a massive window to do this, because as you can see now it's really, really dark.
So we've reframed one of the cameras now to the city, and we've kicked in 18 dB gain because we needed to, but as you can see now the results are rather spectacular. It's a compromise between gain and being able to see something, so we've kicked in 18 dB, but it's not too bad. I think for what we're doing we can get away with it, and as you can see the ships in the foreground come through nicely, and it's not a bad looking shot at this time of night, just on dusk.
Okay, we're speaking to Scott right now. Scott is a fantastic photographer. He does video work, he does web work. Scott, you're busy shooting. Tell me what gear you're using, tell me what you're trying to achieve.
Okay, so I'm on the Canon Mark III here just because its low light is fantastic. I'm shooting at a really high f-stop to get some nice sparkles with the lights behind me. Not sure if you can see, but it's a great night. The sky is a real deep blue, gives a vibrant colour to the sea and the sky, and it just looks great against the contrast of the colours in the city. Okay, I'm actually shooting really wide here so I can get both the Opera House, the bridge and the city skyline in the background. I'm shooting on, what have I got on here? I've got the 15 to 35 and I'm shooting, as I said, at a really high f-stop, and I'm exposing about 30 seconds just to push it as much as I can to get a nice smooth waterline, and we are about ISO 500. And it's nice to come across this side of the bridge. I've been that side but never come across to here. This is worth more fun than any money that they can pay me. It's brilliant. I'm having such a good time.
On one side we have Scott filming with a Canon 5D Mark III. Then we got the Blackmagic production camera 4K doing a nice time lapse, and then we've got a Sony F3 which is doing a continuous record. And further around the bend over that side, on the other side of the bridge, we've got Miranda doing stills. So the whole purpose of this, aside to have a lot of fun, is to see what we can get. And I'm a real believer in the fact that it's not the camera that makes it work, it's the person driving the camera. But of course you get different textures, and what we do is we experiment and we see what we can get with the different results, and that's what tonight's been all about. Now, when I was last here in 1998 doing a shoot on a DV camera, never did I give it a moment's thought that I'd be back doing a shoot of this magnitude with this many people. So let's sign off now and have a look at some of the results we've been able to achieve today. And I hope it's not another 15 years till I'm back. This has been absolutely fantastic. So thanks to everyone that's been involved, and thank you for watching. Well, I can say without doubt that Sydney is really one of the most beautiful cities in the world. A lot of people have compared it to San Francisco, just looking across the water. And I feel privileged to be able to be in this spot with so many cameras and so much gear and so many people to make it happen.